But a lot of folks, man, just you looking like you don't know who I am. Hey, I'm a man, man. Wild as the Taliban. Down in the right, 45. I've been trouble, man. I always in trouble, man.
Woo! Hello.
Hello,
Hello,
beautiful
Warren.
fantasy football players out there.
How are we doing today, everybody? Welcome back for week 3 predictions.
Week 3 already, man. This year is going by so fast. I feel like
It's flying, and it's going fast. Going pretty slow for some other people who have some of these injured players on their team.
oh boy, I think we've all been affected. I don't think there's a healthy team out there right now. So
Besides, like the
has
Cowboys,
been a
is about it.
struggle. So for today, gentlemen, we are switching it up a bit. Some of you may know I smelled some gas outside today. Found it near our gas gauge. Decided to call Nicor. The dude came out. He had a 100% leak. Everything was outside though, so nothing was inside. So that was a plus. We didn't have to evacuate or anything. Crew just came out, dug a big ass hole. They were able to replace the lines and everything.
Worked hard on you, man. Worked
Yeah.
hard.
They worked hard. It took a while to get out here, but they were coming from Elgin, so no blame on anything. Just happy, and they were all really cool dudes. So shout out to Nicor, I guess.
Shout out to Nicor. Yeah.
Hashtag
This,
not
hashtag not a sponsor. I was about to say the opposite. This is sponsored by Nicor. No, yeah, not a sponsor, but glad to hear everybody's good. Everybody's doing okay.
Yep.
For those who are tuning in on Thursday, we're starting this recording just about around 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we're going to switch things up a little bit. We're going to just do a quick recap of week 2. Make sure we understand how frustrated some people actually were. And then we're going to jump into the game of the week because, last week we tried out something new. It worked out pretty well, a lot of fun. We don't want to keep our guest waiting any longer than we have to. And then we'll get into the rest of the games here. And for those of you who still care about everybody else and not just the surprise guest.
Yes.
So, Louis, you want to give us a nice recap of week 2?
Yes. So starting off first on my list here, we had Kerryon My Wayward Son, yours truly, taking down Howard the Ducks in another scary matchup where I did not win until apparently the final play of my players' play. So that was
Julio!
another nail biter, but he got the job done in the clutch. Had to score, I think, 12.5 points over whatever Jordan Howard put up. So I was pretty nervous there, especially with the game flow. It was a back-and-back game, so
yeah, we had another walk-off score victory today this week, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Are you talking about Geis?
Yeah,
and the double doinks. That was a fun one to watch. Was that Monday night?
Monday night came down to literally a walk-off run.
Yeah, I'm so glad. So far, the first 2 weeks, I didn't have any flirtations with the Monday night curse. Lady Luck blessed Geis.
She did.
With her presence. Wow, that was a close one. Berries and Cream took down Nuketown in the lowest scoring matchup of the week. Terry
I'm no longer the lowest scorer of the season.
Well, you put up 72 points, I think, last week, and Danny had 76. But Terry Single taking one over Team Woodsy.
Yep.
Sorry, Joshy.
As was expected.
And then our game of the week, we had Cirque de Brown versus Too Many Cooks, and I think we both picked that matchup pretty well.
Yep.
Too Many Cooks came out with it. I am glad I'm not a lawyer because I thought Antonio Brown would not be playing, but he had a pretty good showing for his first pairing with Tom Brady. So something to look forward to. I'm worried it might be like a Zeke Elliott thing that we had a couple of years, or was it just last year? where it was
With the,
like we don't know when the holdout's gonna, or we don't know when the suspension's gonna come, if there is even a suspension or an exempt list that he could go on. But that's what we got.
I feel like this could drag on. I don't think he's going to be criminally charged, from what I read earlier today on ESPN.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that. So I think Antonio Brown is safe. I think he's safe for now.
I think he is as well. As it goes right now, we had one difference in the pick'ems last week. You got that differential game correct by the walk-off of Julio. We are now tied 7-10 after 2 weeks on the pick'ems. So it's
7 out of 10, right?
7 out of 10 correct on the pick'ems.
That's not bad though. That's not bad.
70%.
I'll take that.
I approve.
I'll take that.
So yeah, guys, so we don't keep our guest waiting any longer, I'm going to go ahead and hit him up. We're going to be talking game of the week. Whoa, hold on. Game of the week. Oh. Okay. Calling him up right now. We're going to make sure he's still awake. He didn't fall asleep with the phone in his hands, because that's probably what I would have done. And if he answers, I don't know if you guys can see the. Probably not. That's okay. That's okay. It's trying. It's loading. It's loading.
Loading. Loading.
Is it still loading?
Loading.
Hey, game of the week.
Ew, Mr.
Can you
Matt
see me?
O.C. No.
No?
I see you. No.
I don't see you. I can hear you though.
How about now?
Oh, I see it.
Hey.
Oh,
there he is.
Sorry about the way, good sir.
Look
How
at
are
this
you?
guy.
It's okay. I took a nap earlier so I could stay up extra late for this.
This does take priority in life, I understand. So, my good sir, we picked this as the game of the week.
Excellent.
May not be the highest scoring game of the week ever, but you know what?
Probably not. Probably not.
I think you need to change your team name, Mr. Geis.
Well, yeah, he's gonna be out for a little while. It looks like.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, man, give us your take. What do you got for me? What do you got for me?
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out for Louis' upcoming wedding this Saturday.
Hey!
Looking forward to a good time.
Should be
Without
fun.
question.
Should be fun.
Yes. But yeah, I'm also a little pissed off that Melvin Gordon has been designated with a not available tag this year. So now luckily for me, Geis is on IR too, so I could slot him in there. But
You're doing great, man.
unlike Le'Veon
right,
last year, now
Yeah.
I have to have him wasting away on a bench spot. So
Interesting.
that was it's been very upsetting.
I would appreciate it if Melvin Gordon stayed there. I seem to be the beneficiary of that, so
Yeah.
I would appreciate that.
I bet you would. I bet you would.
If he would just
You and
stay
your
away.
secret weapon over there.
Why I did not pick up Eckler, I'll never know. But
Should have.
I didn't. I did not.
Well,
So
and it's gonna you're gonna pay for it this week, man.
oh
you're
yeah.
gonna hand me my first win. That's just what
Do you think so? Are you nervous that you scored about 30 less than everybody else in the league?
Listen, this is nothing new. All right, I did this last year. I was just fine.
That's true. You did skate by. Did you got the last playoff spot last year, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. You sneaky son of a bitch.
That's how I roll. I plan on doing it again now without Noodle Arm on my team.
Yeah, I did see that. You dropped a full
I actually
16.
predicted that. I predicted.
Oh, did you?
I was writing my predictions last night, so before any of the waiver wires went through, so I wrote Newton is a must drop, and I think Wilson gets picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You dropped a lot of fab on that one.
How much did you drop?
$17.
17? No, not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad. That might be the most money spent this year, though. I don't know.
As of right now, yes.
I don't think we've seen any turkeys go yet.
We'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be better than Mr. Broken Ankles, and it might even
Yeah.
be better than.
I'm hoping DJ sees some balls he could actually catch. That was such a brutal game to watch last Thursday. I can't believe how awful he is.
All these Thursday night games are awful. I might not even watch tomorrow night. It's just tough.
I know. I'm so over the Thursday night matchups, man. It's been
They suck.
terrible.
Yeah, but these Monday night matchups, at least for one person,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I've quickly fallen in love with Odell.
oh yeah,
I thought
Until
for
he gets hurt.
sure that Chubb was gonna fuck me over, but
Oh my God.
I think Odell, he might play Sunday night this week actually, so
Yep.
you
Sunday
might
night
be in for a stressful Sunday, Josh.
against
We'll
the
see, man.
Rams.
It's going to be an interesting Sunday. I mean, good old Matty Ice. He's throwing the most interceptions this year right now.
Yeah, that guy is playing like shit too. I don't know what he's doing.
You should have dropped $18 for Wilson, man.
I mean, he hasn't been putting up bad numbers, but some of these interceptions have been god awful.
Man, he's
Very
just
true.
handing out so many balls. He's giving out more handouts than Bill Gates. It's a charity, man. Like,
Hand jobs. He's giving too many hand jobs.
what a generous man.
Him and Julio, that 88-yarder.
Woo!
Needed
Thank you
that.
much for. Oh yeah, you both
Needed
needed
that.
that.
I will
Yeah.
say looking at the matchup, I think Matt might have the upper hand here. He's got that Chicago defense going Monday night. Might not even need to start.
Oh
them.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you're saying he's not even.
No, I'm just saying there's that option that he has a player on his team or a team on his team to sit if need be.
If need be. It's just all we're gonna have to do is look at a flick of the wrist, but don't tell Davy Johnson that because that might actually hurt him even more. Okay.
Well, I heard he's getting some kind of robotic wrist implanted, so
Like
won't have-
Luke Skywalker.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, he's gonna injure that damn thing once a week from now on. Watch, I guarantee it.
Forever. I am Davy Johnson. Hand me ball.
My bench is thin. I can't have any more injuries.
Shit, man. Are you sure you don't want to play Kenyon Drake instead of Davy Johnson?
I'm not sure.
That's a bold move.
I picked him up on the off chance that he gets traded soon. I'm hoping he goes somewhere that he can get some carries.
And I don't know, man. Like these pickups, like Hawkinson, it's like a whisper in the wind, man.
Yeah.
You got a lot.
Nobody can hear him anymore.
Bench. You got a lot.
I know. Don't look at that bench. I see you looking at that bench, Louis. Don't look at that.
Sorry, let me look over at Josh's bench.
Yeah, look at his bench. His
Didn't
is
Robert
decent.
Woods this week?
Yeah.
You got Jalen Samuel or what's his name?
I see a lot of head games going on with your team, Josh. Are they getting in your head already?
Since like week 0, yeah. It's been that way since
he
the
found out
draft.
he had the number 1 pick. That's when I think.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
We all saw it. We all saw what happened.
I just left the official draft order. That's
you saw yourself in that cage.
I saw that cage.
We're fitting the dog suit for you already. I hear.
Well, it already
Chatter.
at the picture of it.
Oh yeah, it did.
We'll have
fit
to look
you.
back at that.
That was the omen. That was the bad omen.
Apparently it was.
That.
Well, it is only week 3, so
We'll see.
there's
see.
still plenty of time.
You do have some safety room though, Matt. Josh does have to score 55 more points than you in order for him not to be in last place.
That is nice to have.
So,
Danny is also down there with you.
Dropping. He had a good week 1 and then a not so good week 2.
I think we're all a little happy for you, Danny, that after those back-to-back wins, you get a taste of the bottom. So shout out to Danny for that
was there
one.
once before. I mean, I do remember I was the one who crowned him the first Sacco champion. That was
Were those the RG3 years?
yeah, the RG3 years.
Yeah, those were fun times. Those were fun times.
He's all too familiar.
Is he playing in the CFL now? Is that where he's at?
Is he?
I don't know.
Is he?
I have not heard of that guy in a while.
Oh
But
my God.
Yeah, he's probably doing some weird stuff now.
That's funny. I do have a bold prediction for this game, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
The only bold prediction I actually wrote was that the loser of this matchup will be crowned the Sacco. So,
Ouch.
Game of the week.
that
Yeah.
There's a lot riding on this game.
there
Yeah,
is.
game of the season,
It'll be a fun matchup to scroll through when I see my team maybe not winning this week.
Maybe not winning.
It'll be a fun one to come back to, and know
Yeah,
that I
just
will
come
not
back
be
to our game.
Sacco because whoever the loser
Go
is.
back to our game, and look through our entire teams, even our benches, and you'll feel a lot better. It'll be okay.
I think Davey's gonna rally me this go around.
You
I
so?
think I think so. He had a really. I think Arizona's just getting. The wheels are starting to turn.
Kyler's just getting started, baby.
Kyler's starting to click.
200 yards, 2 consecutive
It takes
weeks.
him to the second half to really.
Maybe Davey will get more than 7 carries this game. That would be
Maybe.
ideal.
That's
Maybe
a
Davey.
that's a maybe, Davey.
That's a big maybe. It's a big maybe for
It's a
Davey.
maybe.
Davey's maybe baby. But yeah, I'm hoping for a big Davey game.
Should be
Big
a
Davey game.
Big Davey game. I got a Davey of my own. He's sitting on my bench. I might play him just for the Davey.
Davey v.
twins go at
Davey.
it.
I like it. I'll change
Maybe
my
Davies.
name just for that.
Yeah, man.
I'll change my name. I'll
Yeah,
do
there
it.
you go.
I'll
Maybe
do it.
Davey.
You can get that Monday night game going on too, there, Josh. If you
Good. If I'm really
Wish you
feeling
luck,
bold
company.
enough, I might just try to bring it down to Monday night again.
Why
maybe,
not?
maybe,
Why not?
maybe Lady Luck will change hands on Monday night this time.
Man,
We'll
never
see.
know. Never know.
Matt, thank you so much for joining us, man. We'll get you to bed.
Thank
I
you,
know it's a little-
fellas.
Thank you.
All right.
And I will see you Saturday.
Sounds good. Love you guys.
Adios.
Good, man. Adios.
So,
Yeah, that's true. This is going to be your last broadcast as an engaged man. Isn't that true, Louis?
as a single man, I have trotted many paths,
Yes, sir.
and
Ooh.
yeah, it is nearing to an end. So we are very excited for that.
Okay.
Josh, I will admit I do have Matt winning this week. So as far as pick'ems go, that is where I'm at.
Yeah,
I think
fair.
we might. Are you going with yourself? Are we gonna have another switcherooski?
I've got confidence in my team today. I've got confidence in my team this week. Maybe it was the $17 that I dropped that I just feel like I have to be confident. I'm
Feeling it.
going.
An 0-2 starts, nothing too worrisome yet. I remember starting 0-5 and still making the playoffs.
That's true. Honestly, I love you, Lou. My goal right now is not for the playoffs, is to be not the first team to 0-12. So,
What did I go? What did I do?
0-11. I remember that.
It's been done.
It has been done. I'm going to try to be the first one not to go 0-12.
And
That's my goal.
I am giving fantasy football advice. So anything is possible.
Yeah, and going on 2 seasons as the lowest scorer. I'm also somehow giving fantasy football advice. It's okay.
So,
We're just having fun.
hey,
Well,
people,
guys-
we have that rapport. People love us. People trust us.
People fill in the blanks. Us. Yeah, that's us in a nutshell.
All right.
So game of the week. Yeah. Game of
No,
the week out of the way. Huh?
out of the way. A little early. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's
But
okay.
not sorry. Again, as we said in week 1, this is free. If you got a problem with it, don't watch it. We got 7 subscribers now. So to the 7 of you, thank you. I cannot subscribe to my own
No,
channel.
no.
We would have 8. So
And I wasn't even the first subscriber too. I just want that.
no, I think it was my brother actually. I was like,
It was
yo,
your
we
brother.
got this. We have this channel. Subscribe.
I think you had like a 1-minute video as a test video up.
I
on
will
our
say,
channel.
I think our week 1 video had like 30 views. unless that was people just rewatching it. I don't know how they count the views, but
Jack, man. I heard that he went and showed his family. He showed his mom.
he's
He
got a
showed
big
his grandma.
family, so
Yeah, he
that
showed
will
it
spread.
once each time for each family member. That's how we got
That
the
will spread.
third. So game of the week out of the way, guys. We still got a lot more to cover here. I did want to touch upon something that we did last week. Week 2, another week of fantasy football out of the way brings a lot more injuries to fantasy football.
Boy, did it ever.
Boy, did it. Louis knows firsthand. I don't have my music to go with it this week, but I want to start off with the guy that I dropped, Cam Newton. Screw you, dude. I believed in you for too long.
Flip
2 weeks
that
was too.
guy.
2 weeks was too long.
You're jumping right past the third time is the charm, and you said no more.
And watch it be the third time the charm. Watch it. Just my luck. No, but for real though, ankle injury. It's even questionable if he starts this week. It's probably going to bring. And let's just mention that a lot of these people are going to be quarterbacks, and they're just bringing the values down of everybody around them.
Yeah.
It's a little bit unfortunate, in my opinion. They're just bringing everybody down. Devin Singletary, he's got a hamstring injury. Dealing with that, he did not practice today. Next up is Frank Gore. How old is this dude? And he's still trucking, man. Him and Darren Sproles, you gotta respect them.
You gotta respect the beef, man.
Amen. Next is Damon Williams and LaShawn McCoy. They're both a little bit banged up on the Kansas City side there. Darwin Thompson might be starting, depending on how these injuries go. One's a knee, one's an ankle. Like the entire Eagles squad is banged up.
Oh my God.
So we saw almost every offensive player walk into the blue tent at least once in that game on Sunday. Right now, it looks like Alshon Jeffrey's out with a calf injury. Djax is out with strained abdominal. They could be out a couple weeks. Right now, they're listed as day-to-day. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then we got Njoku, who's out with concussion.
That was a big fall he had.
It was a big fall. It landed right on his neck, man. It was.
He's got a wrist injury as well.
Yeah, I think it's also a wrist injury. Dealing with a lot right there. Sterling Shepard also in the concussion protocol. I don't know if anybody has picked him up yet. I did see somebody picked up Golden Tate. Probably a good call.
Oh, good call. Beat me to it. I was thinking about that on the waiver, but good call.
I was sleeping on it as well. And then, of course, we got the big names here that are absolutely bringing down everybody. Sam Darnold, the kissing king.
Mono.
He's bringing on the mono. I'm glad nobody else caught that. But he's not just kissing all of his teammates in the locker room there. Although Trevor Siemian, his backup, is down. The Jets are on their third string quarterback.
Woo!
We're going to come back to that and some of the other matchups. And Big Ben out for the season.
Huge downgrade for that whole team.
Huge downgrade for that whole team.
Although Juju was getting some targets from Rudolph, so he might be all right.
I'll bring up at least one other player too that was actually going to be okay. So, and then of course Drew Brees.
Yep, that hurt.
Best of luck to you on that one. You do have Kyler Murray. I think he's going to be on the up and up here and there. He just got to figure out his pacing. He's got to stop playing from behind. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Those are the major lists of injuries going on here for Fantasy Football Week 2. Let's jump right into the rest of the prediction games here.
All right, yeah. So I'll start it off. We got Circuit de Brown versus Howard the Ducks. I was surprised to see Chet dropped the Goff train after talking him up last week in the game of the week.
Oh, dude, he hopped on the train and got off at right next stop there.
He got right off. I was actually boldly predicting him getting like 2 to 3 touchdowns this week. So, especially with Gurley getting back up to speed, I was kind of surprised with that drop. Josh Allen, though, I think is a great pickup. He's got a great opportunity against Cincy. So, I mean, I think he'll be serviceable. He's had 2 pretty good weeks so far. But nothing compares to Patrick Mahomes, his opponent. He's got 7 touchdowns already this year. There's a couple other guys that also have 7 touchdowns. Anyway, Patrick Mahomes is slinging and spreading the ball. He's made a lot of no names. Looked really good this year. The dude's matchup proof. He plays the Ravens this week, so maybe there might be some cause for some concern. I don't know that we're going to see another 40-point game out of him. But
I'd say 30 plus.
But Robinson and Hardman have been just picking up the slack, and I mean the guy is going to throw it. He's going to throw it, especially with the injuries to the running backs this week. I don't see there being a problem with Mahomes, so I got to give the advantage to the Ducks there. Moving on to the wide receivers, we got Mr. Mike Evans, and he has not really lived up to where he was drafted at or where he normally plays. Tampa Bay has looked really bad. Minus Godwin, I think he's really developed himself as a player. He's definitely the 1B to Evans 1A, but it might be like a 1A type deal going on. Like it's
kind of
yeah, it's kind of weird because Godwin's really picked it up. I think he's got a great matchup this week though against the Giants. I think Evans needs to score a touchdown to be relevant. And then we got Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's going up. He will not be put down. He looks great. He's got Tom Brady throwing him the ball. Tom Brady's not afraid to throw it. And he's looking like the old AB, man. I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And then the next, so I wrote these on Tuesday, so before matchups were put in. If you guys really want like an accurate prediction in these videos, get your lineup set. I was surprised Michael Thomas is out of the starting lineup. I thought he was going to be just fine. Sean Payton has a whole week to scheme with Teddy Bridgewater, so I think he'll be just fine. He's 18 targets and 10 receptions each week. But the Ducks decided to go with Marquise Brown and Demarcus Robinson, both pretty boomer bust players that we've seen so far. I don't know if the Ducks are tilting already.
I think he's really banking on. I mean, these are right now 2 of the highest scoring quarterbacks facing off right now. So I think that's what he's hoping
That's
for.
true. That's true. That is a strategy there.
It is.
Then we got Diggs. Kirk Cousins has looked god awful this year, and the Minnesota receivers have been feeling it. Diggs always has that big playmaking ability, though. But this year he might be kind of on the boomer bust side. I don't know that we're going to see consistent numbers from him. But they get Oakland this week, so I think Diggs has a pretty good matchup. As long as Kirk Cousins is doing better, then Diggs should be just fine. I'm going to give the advantage to the Browns, to Chet. However, my gut, for whatever reason, is telling me the Ducks. I did write that in there, so we'll see how that goes. Going right to the running backs, we got CMC. Did not look like the CMC Express in week 2, but Cam has been kind of taking up all that news.
Yeah.
I mean, the volume's there, certainly, so that's one thing that we can look at. He's just got to capitalize on his opportunities.
Yes.
So I fully expect in a game against Arizona this week that he'll be just fine. Tony Michel, he had 15 carries in week 1 and 21 carries last week again in Miami. A lot of players in that backfield there, but Stoney has been looking pretty good. He's getting the volume.
Yes.
I think it's just going to be a story of game script for him. If New England's ahead and they're going to be 19-0 or 18-0 or whatever this year, then Sony Michel is going to be just a fine running back to play, especially in the fourth quarter when they're up ahead and they're just trying to drain the clock, and he's going to get the ball.
Yes.
Let's see
I
what
think
else we got going on
they're
here.
definitely going to be ahead. They're definitely going to be running the ball. It's just another great matchup for that team.
Yeah, and we will see a Le'Veon Bell Antonio Brown matchup this week. We haven't seen them be on the same field in they
2
weren't on
years.
it at all last year. So
Yeah.
so that's going to be something to watch. I just thought that was interesting as I was looking through the matchups. I was like, oh, Jets are playing New England, and Antonio Brown is there now. So that'll be fun to watch. Let's see. We got Mostert going in there. I like the ad.
It's a good ad.
I think it's a good ad.
It's that's tough.
It's tough. I mean, it looks like San Fran has 3 running backs going with right now.
Yeah. We were getting word earlier today through some of these apps that they want Jeff Wilson to be the goal line guy. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as long as Mostert gets his gets his carries, and I mean, I think he'll be just fine. I think he's got a plus matchup this week. And I mean, he should be locked and loaded, ready to go. As long as Breida doesn't shine, I think it's going to depend on which one of those two have the hot hand. So I mean, that'll be interesting.
Mhm.
Let me take a look at one other thing here. They do. Okay, so the Ducks still have James White going in. So we do have 2 New England running backs starting this week. It's just going to come down to who makes the most of their opportunities. Game script, James White or Sony Michel.
Honestly, I think James White. I think they're both going to be a good play. James White has been double digits in fantasy points 2 weeks running.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Sony Michel getting the handful of touches, like it's a nice complimentary back. It's good.
Yeah, and I CMC, I think he's going to explode. I got to give the advantage to the Browns again here.
Yes.
And then going into the tight ends, we got Zach Ertz, almost matching up against OJ Howard. I thought I was going to stick with 1 more week just to maybe see it and say that the balls will come. So it's possible. He did pick up Greg Olsen. I think that's a fine pickup. I think he's a fine play. I'm not worried about any injuries or anything lingering there. I think he'll be just fine. I still got to give the advantage to the Browns though for throwing out Zach Ertz. Flex.
He's solid, yeah.
Yeah, then moving over to the flex, I really like DK. Really like him. He actually almost made me want to pick up Wilson as my backup over Kyler Murray, but just with how DK's been looking, I think he's going to continue to get a lot of those shares and opportunities. So we'll certainly see what that looks like. The Ducks wisely took out Latavius Murray out of their lineup for Demarcus Robinson. He was the most added player this week. He went from 6% owned to 60% owned, or was it 66% owned? So it was like a 60% increase. And he was actually out on the field a lot for week 2, and when he was throwing it everywhere. So he's going to get the opportunity. Like I said, with that KC backfield kind of in question, I think they're going to be passing the ball a lot. And I know Mahomes wants that touchdown record, so he's going to be throwing it. Advantage here, I'm still going to give to the Browns. I really like DK. I think he's got a pretty good matchup. I'm going to give it to the Circuit de Browns by 5 in my scoring spread. My bold predictions are Antonio Brown goes for 160 yards, 2 scores. Pretty bold. And
Very bold.
I added Greg Olsen here. He's going to get 90 yards. I think he had 110 last week. He's going to get 90 yards and 1 score.
Okay.
So I think it'll be an interesting matchup.
Question: is this with or without Cam Newton in the game?
I didn't consider that.
just food for thought.
Without Cam, 60 yards, no score.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Cam loves throwing to Greg Olson. Saw it last week. So I'm on board. I have the Browns winning by 8 in this game. Excellent. We're together on that one. All right.
Check that out.
So excellent. Matchup number 2. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with Too Many Cooks versus Terry's Single. This week, Aaron Rodgers versus Denver. Last week, he was going against Minnesota's defense. They did hold Aaron Rodgers for a good majority of the game, but Aaron Rodgers got off to a really hot start. He completed 8 of his first 9 passes for 119 yards and a pair of scores.
Nice.
He's going against Denver, which is ranked 7th best against the QB position. However, I think those stats are a little bit cushioned because they played Mitch Trubisky last week. You can't take that to heart. I think this is actually going to be the most powerful 1-2 punch in the game because Davante Adams follows up, but I'll get to that in just a second. Terry Singles has Dak Prescott versus Miami. This is a no-brainer for me. This is an explosive offense, kind of like right behind.
Really good.
Yeah,
even with Michael Gallup out, I think.
Oh yeah. Who is it? Devin Smith is taking his position.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He might get like 3 catches for freaking 90 yards and a touchdown. Just like it might be a small contribution, but for big gain. Like this is Miami. We see that they suck. I'm going Dak Prescott in this quarterback matchup just because no matter what it is, Dak's going to find a way. He might even scramble. We saw him scramble for a good 52-yarder last week.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
He's got all the weapons, man. He's looking really good.
He's got it all. So I'm leaning Dak Prescott in favor of Terry's for the quarterback. But like I said, Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, I'm actually pinning as the strongest fantasy 1-2 punch because I know there's a few 1-2 punches that we have out here. Mm-hmm. I think they are going to be the strongest. Davante Adams had 17 targets the last 2 games, and he's just going to pick apart Denver. He's the favorite target. MVS and Geronimo Allison are going to be there to scatter things around, but it's going to go Davante. They're going to pick apart Denver. I mean, it's just going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Brandon Cooks is going to follow up for the Too Many Cooks as their second wide receiver versus Cleveland. Brandon Cooks has only had 10 targets in 2 games and has only caught 5 of them. This is tough. This is going to be an offense that has 3 solid wide receivers, just wide receivers alone.
Yeah,
and you're going to throw in run games and possibly Goff scrambling here and there. I do not have the confidence in Brandon Cooks. I have him in my work league. I just he's my flex. And I might even take him out.
He's hard to trust right now. He's really hard to trust right now. But
honestly, I have Robert.
He's
Woods
healthy. He's healthy.
Yeah, he's healthy. That's a plus. It's kind of hard to see which of these 3 is going to go off. So I'm leaning Davante, not so much Cooks, which means I'm going to split this one because Terry Singles have Adam Thielen versus Oakland. He had a better week 2 performance than week 1. He got 8 targets as opposed to the 3. Kirk Cousins only threw the ball 10 times week 1, so it's kind of nice to see Adam Thielen get 3 of those. But Kirk Cousins looks awful. He threw with 3 interceptions last week. I can't. I love Adam Thielen. He's a great receiver. So there's a lot of talent there. I cannot trust Kirk Cousins. But then you got T.Y. Hilton. He's a strong wide receiver. He has absolute talent, and he's showing that he has the connection now with Jacoby. He salvaged a week 2 performance of only 47 yards with a red zone touchdown. It was frustrating but brilliant to see. Like, I was facing off against Terry Singles, and I saw the play. Can't even be mad. He pulled it off. It was great. He went for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns week 1. this is going to be Atlanta. They're probably going to be playing from behind the way Matt Ryan was throwing the ball. I expect a lot of good things from T.Y. Hilton this week. These wide receivers, I'm splitting down the middle in this matchup. For the running backs, too many cooks. They got Le'Veon Bell versus New England. Like you said, he's going up against an offense that's going to be having Antonio Brown, and he's going up against like the strongest offense in the game right now. Last week, they were down a ridiculous amount because they had a third-string quarterback and a second-string quarterback that couldn't do anything. And he got 31 touches for combined.
I think he's got to continue to see that for the Jets' sake.
No doubt. No doubt. He's going to be the only person on this team, in my opinion, who's going to do anything. I just dropped Robbie Anderson because I have no faith that the long ball is going to be consistent until Sam Darnold comes back.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's nothing there but Le'Veon Bell. I love it. Pairing that with Dalvin Cook, he looks to be amazing and finally matchup proof, like the man that he was drafted to be. I've got very interesting statistics here. CMC, the powerhouse that he was last year, only has on the season so far 262 combined total yards and 2 touchdowns. Austin Eckler is actually outplaying CMC. He's got 287 total yards and 4 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook has 311 total yards in 2 games. He's even out-yarding Austin Eckler, and he's had 5 catches, 5 pass attempts thrown his way, and he's caught all 5. Dalvin Cook is on fire.
He's good.
This dude is matchup proof. He's clearly their number 1 option. Like I said, week 1, they threw the ball 10 times. 2 of them were to him, and he ran the rest of the way the first week. He's the number 1 anything on that team right now. Now on the other side of the ball here, we got Damian Williams going up for Terry Singles versus Baltimore. Dealing with a knee injury, he did not practice today. If he is healthy, I think because they're trying to do some splits here with LaShawn McCoy. McCoy did practice today. It's a little bit of concern eating into his workload. Although if Damian Williams is healthy, I think he will be the sole back in the passing game. So I'm expecting, if he's healthy, at least 6 targets going his way, which could boost his numbers here.
Sure.
And then we got Derrick Henry versus
good old Derrick Henry.
I have here somehow gets the job done in bold capital letters here, because he somehow gets the job done. I don't know how he's doing it. I think it's because he's the clear number 1 option. Again, kind of like Dalvin Cook is. I don't see Tennessee really moving the ball with anybody else as consistently as Derrick Henry. So you know what? Good on you, Derrick Henry. I'm still a little salty, still feeling that, still tasting that salt there. But you are crazy involved, and that's going to boost your numbers. However, I think both running backs here for Too Many Cooks stand out, and they're going to just overpower Terry Singles. So we're moving on to the tight end position. Too Many Cooks has Mark Andrews going up against Kansas City. Fun statistic here. He's got 27% of that team's target share.
Yeah.
He's had the most target shares among all tight ends in the league. He's involved more than any other tight end. He's at 8 catches a game. He's had 108 yards or more a game. He's had 1 touchdown per game so far, and that's just 2 games. This is great pickup. Great pickup. Great play. Other side of the ball, also a good pickup. Also a great pickup, like Darren Waller. He's going against Minnesota. John Gruden loves it.
He's special.
He's special. He gets 7+ targets a game. You know, Tyrell Williams, I have him on my team. He's dealing with a hip injury. I saw Josh Jacobs is dealing with his own injury. Darren Waller could be heavily involved this game. I just don't see him being as involved as Mark Andrews. So tight end position
Totally.
goes to too many cooks here. And as just a great running gag, Terry Singles is holding Zeke into the flex position. Maybe he's punishing Zeke for waiting so long to make a deal, but he's just held up in the flex position, going against Miami, who's allowed the second most points to the running back. He's the number one. You know, week one, Tony Pollard, he got 13 carries. Last week, Tony Pollard only had 4 carries. This is going to be Zeke's game.
It's a Zeke show now.
It's all the Zeke show. This is he's going to go off. It would be cheating to have him in a bold prediction because it's going to happen. Sammy Watkins for the other flex position here for too many cooks versus Baltimore. Despite the Marcus Robinson's big game, listen, he still had 13 targets. Sammy Watkins still had 13 targets in that game, and it's because, like you said, Mahomes wants that record. Mahomes is airing it out. Mahomes has no backfield to trust right now because they're just kind of banged up. The problem is it's anybody's ball in KC. You know, anybody at any given time is going to go off, and that's just how it's going to be. You got in terms of the flex position here in this matchup, Zeke is the most guaranteed thing there is. So flex position goes to Terry Singles. Then we come down to the Bears, the love of the Bears kicker, Pinero. Hey, versus Washington. It's going to too many cooks. I'm putting him over Lutz. I'll make this really quick. I don't think Bridgewater is going to get down enough for Lutz to kick enough field goals. Pinero is the fun stat. Pinero has the most points so far on the season for the Bears. He's our lead scorer. He's going to continue to rack up those points. So there's that. And then, of course, we could talk about San Francisco going against Pittsburgh. Yes, they have a backup quarterback going, and they're going to do great. But New England also is facing a third-string quarterback. New England is going to punish the Jets.
Yes.
Absolutely punish. I know Lev Bell's going to get involved. I know Lev Bell is going to get probably upwards of about 35 touches this game and make decent yardage out of it. But the defense is going to punish everybody else. Bold predictions. Derrick Henry is going to go. I'm going to do it. He's going to go for 170 total yards, and 2 scores. One of them is going to be through the air, one on the ground. Can't believe I'm doing that. He just gets involved, man. It's so frustrating. And then my other bold prediction for too many cooks, New England's defense is going to get 3 turnovers this game. Yep. 2 picks, 1 fumble recovery. They're going to return all 3 of them for scores.
Oof.
And they're going to get 4 sacks on the day. It's going to be another.
They're going to have 40 points.
They're going to have another 35, 40 points. And it will be the best return of fab dollars I will have seen
for a defense.
In a very long time. I'm handing this one to too many cooks by a margin of 9 points. I just think with the running backs, the defense, and the tight end position here, they just haven't made.
Fair.
Okay.
Let me give my pick. That's tough.
It's a tough one.
The running backs just look so good for too many cooks.
It's hard to ignore.
I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna agree with that pick. So, all right. Looks like I'm up next. We got the double doinks against Nuketown.
Yep.
Starting off with Newtown quarterback position, we got Deshaun Watson. Huge letdown last week. Only 159 passing yards, 5 rush yards on 4 attempts.
Ooh.
I didn't see this game personally, but after a great week 1, I expected way more out of him. I think he's got to bounce back this week. Who's he playing? He's playing the Chargers. They're going to need to score. We got Tom Brady going for the double doinks. He didn't even need to try last week. I think he's got a similar matchup this week against the Jets. I think he's going to score an easy 25 to 30 points.
Yes.
I'm going to give the advantage to the double doinks just for the consistency of play out of Tom Brady. Could be more of a wash. Deshaun Watson could go off, have a huge 35, maybe 40-point game. But I'm going to stay safe and give the wide receivers. Another huge letdown. DeAndre Hopkins. I guess the Chargers this week as well. They do have some similar difficulty to his matchup in week 2. I don't think it's going to be the case, though. I think he's going to see more targets. I think he saw 13 in week 1 and 8 last week. I think he's going to get more targets.
Yes.
Again, I didn't see the game, so I can't tell what kind of game script it was like. Juju, he's going to be affected by the quarterback injuries without Big Ben. They got Rudolph. I think he might be just okay. I don't know that his numbers are going to be hurt. He hasn't really done anything yet this year. I think he's got to score as well. And he's really going to have to work for his yards. I don't know that he's going to just get balls slung to him like he would with Big Ben.
Yeah.
Moving over to the double Ds, they got Calvin Ridley. As a Julio owner that I am, I really hate it when Ridley gets the touchdowns. However, I think with like the resurgence of, or not the resurgence, the surge of Calvin Ridley, I think that's going to open up Julio for more things. So go Calvin Ridley. Go Calvin Ridley. I like it.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a great downfield target. He seems to be the fastest guy on that team right now.
He's got jets on those shoes, man. It's crazy.
He does. He looks really good. Really good. Then they also got Tyler Lockett. I think he's got a great matchup against New Orleans this week. I think Seattle's going to win this game pretty easily. And I think we've only seen the floor for Tyler Lockett so far. I don't know that we've seen him hit his ceiling yet. So I mean, I think he could go boom. On paper, I got to give the advantage to Nuketown. However, I think matchup wise, I think the double doinks.
I think so too.
I think they could see some more boom.
Yeah.
So for this sake, I will give the advantage to the double Ds. Going over to the running backs, Nuketown, Chris Carson. He's looked great. He's actually outperformed Nick Chubb this year so far, which is surprising. I think he's in a great spot, and he's going to continue to have 20-plus touches each week, whether it be passing or carries. I think he's going to be utilized this week, especially against the Saints. So no problem starting him here. That's got Matt Breida. I think Mostert's going to continue to get his work. What did I write here? Breida averaged 1.2 yards per carry last week. So it could hurt his value as far as San Francisco is concerned. But he's got another plus matchup against the Steelers. So I don't see his usage really slowing down. But if he isn't able to capitalize, I could see San Francisco going with a hot hand and Breida seeing some more bench than field. Double doinks, Barkley. They got a new quarterback. I don't think that's going to affect his usage at all. He looks great. The man's explosive. He puts the moves on. And he is just dominating every single run. Like, he wants to move the ball. He's just a great player. Nick Chubb, he had 17 rushes and 18 rushes in the first 2 weeks, respectively. I don't think he's been used enough to like really show what he can do. I think he's got to get Le'Veon Bell type carries, like in the 25 to 30 range to really do what he can do. He's got a good matchup against the Rams. And we could actually see Chubb finally have what a lot of fantasy analysis thought of having an MVP, a fantasy MVP type year. I am going to give the advantage to the double D's again here. Saquon is just so good. Nick Chubb.
So good.
I think we said it the first 2 weeks that the double doinks had the best running backs in our league. I actually think it goes to too many cooks now with Bell and Dell.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, Chubb has been relatively consistent, which is, we're still expecting the old Chubb of last year.
yeah.
But if we're looking at facts and everything on paper, right now, too many cooks, they're exploding, and it's crazy good to see.
Yeah, I was surprised when I did the numbers. I saw Chris Carson ahead of Nick Chubb, surprisingly. But I think Chubb could certainly turn it around this week. Going over to the tight ends, we got Georgie Kittle. I wish he could get some more targets, man. Jimmy G just doesn't really seem to be targeting him. He's only the tight end 14 through the first 2 weeks, which is not where we expected to see him, not where he was certainly drafted at.
Right.
I think he can certainly get it done with I think they got the Steelers this week, and the Steelers just seem to be like, who the fuck cares anymore? So I think he's got a good matchup. Oh, what did I write here? No, they are still going with Jared Cook. He was a healthy drop for me. I actually wrote on here, writing these on Tuesdays again, guys. I thought he was going to be the one to pick up Olsen. Jared Cook, I think, is going to struggle. Teddy Bridgewater, I just don't see him moving or even spreading the ball. I think he's going to be targeting Michael Thomas a lot. That'll be interesting. So I'm going to give the advantage to the Nukes here. Over to the flex, we got Keenan Allen. Great flex play, man. Danny really went out and did these 0 running backs, and Keenan Allen is his 3rd best wide receiver.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I think you froze, good sir. Oh, there we go. You're back now.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
So, yeah, Keenan Allen's going to have another great game. Cooper Kupp, is he still listed? He is still listed in the flex. I kind of like him, I guess, over Mark Ingram. Terry McLaurin is another interesting play. I don't know about Josh Jacobs. I talked earlier, though, about how I thought Goff could go off for 3 touchdowns. I don't know that any will go to Kupp. I just don't see him being utilized in any kind of red zone or even 20 yards out. I just don't see it. I think there's better options. I think Woods. I might even run it, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I do see him getting some work. I think he's a good target for Goff. I'm going to give the advantage to the Nukes, though. Keenan Allen way and far above over Cooper Kupp. I do have the Nukes getting their first win this week. It's a slim. I got them winning by 2.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty fair.
I'm going to say right here.
Do we
I've
differ?
got the double doinks. Yeah, we differ.
Okay.
We differ. I also a slim margin. I have them at like 3.5 points. So,
okay.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? Bold predictions?
Yeah, bold predictions. Let's see, what do I got here? I got Deshaun Watson going off for 5 touchdowns. Nuke getting 2 of them for 190. I think Watson's going to show up this week. I did write Barkley and Chubb finish as the number 1 and 2 running backs this week. Combined 360 yards. I don't think that's not impossible. I think I wrote this before we knew some quarterback changes, but I still think that's totally doable.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking to it, damn it.
And he's sticking to it. Ooh, sticking to it. Hey. So that brings us to our last game prediction here.
That's right.
And it's the matchup, the fight for first place. We got the only 2-0 teams going up against each other, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 team sitting currently right now, based off of points, Carry On My Wayward Son versus Berries and Cream, number 2. This is going to be a good matchup for the most part.
Oh no!
So this is what I'm saying. Like, there's a couple of fun stats that I'm going to throw in here. Lamar Jackson, I'm going to start with him because he's a beast of a man right now. He's got 76.44 points, fantasy points on the season so far in our league. He's the other one that has 7 touchdown passes. He has thrown.
Dak Prescott was the other one.
Yes, Dak Prescott. They're just going to town. They're having a great season so far. He's been sacked 3 times. Interesting enough, he has thrown 0 picks. Man's on fire. He's having himself a great year. He's going up against Kansas City. I think this is going to be an incredible shootout of a game.
Between the 2 number quarterbacks, I think, or the 1 and 2 quarterbacks so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Goff was an incredible quarterback last year, and they had one of the highest scoring games, at least one of the best shootout matches we ever seen. Kansas City and the Rams last year. I expect this game to be on point. I want to be watching this, if not recording it and watching it later. And then for you, sir, we've got Kyler Murray.
Kyler, Heisman, baby.
Interesting enough, Kyler Murray has more yards through the air than Lamar Jackson does this season so far.
Woof, woof.
Woof, woof. However, Kyler Murray has nothing in comparison in terms of scramble yardage. Sorry. But it's okay. Because Kyler Murray seems to be getting it done through the air. He's bringing life back into this Arizona offense. Larry Fitzgerald had a terrible season last year. Nobody was finding him. We thought like he was seeing the end of days. Kyler Murray has brought him back on the map. He's made Christian Kirk a breakout candidate for this year if he can continue to give him targets. He has been sacked 8 times in these 2 games. The offensive line is not perfect, and they do seem to go down a lot. And I expect this game them to be fighting back even more. CMC, I expect him to have an incredible game again. If Cam Newton's hurt, they're going to absolutely lean on CMC.
Yeah, very true.
And it's going to work. And they're going to be coming from behind. So I expect both of these quarterbacks of yours, Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray, to have great games, mainly because Kyler Murray is going to be coming back.
But can't do much worse than negative 0.48, so I will take what I can get.
Take what you can get. Let that man rest, but he'll be back soon enough. I am handing the quarterback position to Lamar Jackson in this situation here.
That's fair.
For Bears and Cream, wideout position, we've got Julian Edelman versus the New York Jets. The Jets' offensive side of the ball is terrible. Their defensive side of the ball, it's okay. I think they got me 4 or 5 points in my work league last week. It wasn't terrible, but they did allow OBJ to go bonkers. I do not expect Julian Edelman to be the one who goes bonkers this week. Last week with Antonio Brown on the team now, they have too many damn people to throw the ball to. Julian Edelman only got 4 targets, and he will be sacked, or at least not work as much in the second half of this game because they're going to be up by so much.
Mm-hmm.
Pairing Kenny Galladay with Julian Edelman, the Bears and Cream is hoping that Detroit has a great game against Philly. They might. It could be an interesting game if all the Eagles stay healthy that are going to be starting the game. Kenny Golladay has 19 targets throughout the last 2 weeks. He had 117 yards last game alone. He's the clear number one receiver on Detroit. Hawkinson got involved week 1 and then just died down. Like I said, he kind of just floated off into the wind, and Kenny Golladay came back on top. If the Eagles can stay healthy, I expect this to be a pretty good game for Kenny Golladay, because it might be a back and forth game. Otherwise, if Detroit goes out to a lead, maybe not so much. For Carry On My Wayward Son, your 2 wide receivers, Julio Jones versus Indianapolis. Really good. Indy's been pretty decently tough against the wide receiver position this year. But Julio Jones is at 21 targets the last 2 games, with Calvin Ridley opposite of him. And Mohamed Sanu got a surprising decent amount of work last week as well. Keeps the defense guessing. I think Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley are both going to score a touchdown in this game. I think Julio Jones is going to be just fine. And then you're going to pair him up with Amari Cooper. Oh, my goodness. He is also the clear number 1 receiver on an explosive offense.
I dig it.
And especially against Miami, I mean, it's going to go to him for at least 1 big touchdown. I'm guessing at least a 40-yard pass to the house. Like, it's going to be great for him.
I just don't think Miami cares anymore. So whoever you got playing Miami, throw them out there.
You've heard so many of their players are requesting trades right now.
Yeah,
they want out. They want
who cares?
A new team.
They just traded away one of their cornerbacks for a draft pick. So it's like they don't even care.
They want draft picks. The team wants draft picks. They don't care. Amari Cooper is going to dance all over them. Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, they tower over berries and cream wide receivers. You're taking the cake on this one for the wide receivers. Then we got Alvin Kamara for berries and cream going up against Seattle. We saw the clear downgrade in Kamara's usage once Drew Brees went out. Throughout the entire game last week, he only had 3 targets through the air, and we know that's where he gets a pretty big chunk of his fantasy relevance. Yes, they had a week to get things together. No, I don't think they put it together completely in 1 week against Seattle. I think Kamara's going to struggle again. I don't think he's going to be sitting at like 2 points. He's going to still have rushing attempts, and I think he's probably going to get you berries and cream about 9 points. Total.
It's at Seattle too, so
it's at Seattle. It's going to be a tough matchup, and pairing that with him is Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack, I hear, is a little bit banged up, and last week on 20 carries, he only got a total of 51 yards. It's a tough defense that they're going up against Atlanta. They shut down quite a bit of the Eagles running backs, but they are Eagles running backs. If we look back 1 week prior to that, Dalvin Cook went off for 111 yards on the ground alone against Atlanta. If he's healthy enough, Marlon Mack might actually be not 175 yards like his first week, but he might go over 100. He might have some catches involved. I think he's going to have a great game if he's fine physically.
I agree with that.
So on your side of the ball, carry on. We've got Todd Gurley going up against Cleveland. In 2 games, he's actually had 30 rush attempts. It's pretty decent for somebody that we've all been worried about with his arthritic knee.
Who cares?
Who cares?
He's paid, man. Who cares?
This past Sunday, he got 4 targets. Pretty nice. Cleveland allows right now on the season, they're allowing the 5th most points to running backs. And we also saw him get involved again on the goal line or the red zone.
Finally.
Which is good to see. We all thought Malcolm Brown was going to take over that
I was
after
so
week
worried
1.
about that.
I think since he's getting involved again, barring any setbacks that may have happened throughout the week, he's going to have a pretty decent advantage over Kamara in those matchups there. I want to see how Bridgewater handles himself in that offense. I just don't see it yet. I did not see it when he went into the game. So we'll see what happens. So, when it comes down to the matchup of Kamara and Gurley, I'm actually handing it to Gurley. As crazy as that sounds, however, with Marlon Mack v. Kerryon Johnson, I'm giving this to Marlon Mack. I like Kerryon Johnson, especially since C.J. Anderson is now gone. No more vulturing touches here, or any goal line work. However, there were two other people that handled carries other than Kerryon Johnson last week. He shared 12 carries with 3 other people. He had 15 touches last week, but he did manage 90 yards. I just think Marlon Mack is going to be pretty explosive over Kerryon Johnson. You guys are going to split the running backs, and that's just how that's going to go.
That's fair.
Tight end position, Evan Ingram versus Tampa Bay. Hey, he's got a new QB. How about that? It's about damn time.
Both.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's true. They both got new QB. I think it's a little bit more exciting for Evan Ingram to see how this turns out because Eli was getting stale. He was a bag of chips that you left out for a couple of days, in this case, 13 years. So, it's going to be a new approach to gameplay here. At least I think so. What's Daniel Jones, right? Is the name?
I'm so tired. I don't even know.
I hear you. Daniel Jones, he's gonna have fresh legs. He's gonna be a rookie quarterback. He's gonna come in, maybe change things up a little bit, but I think it's gonna be in favor of Evan Ingram. Against Tampa Bay, we just saw Greg Olsen with a shitty, pardon my French, Cam Newton. He still went off. He had 6 catches for 110 yards. Greg Olsen did. So, Evan Ingram is poised to be in a really, really fantasy positive position here. I expected him to do great things last week. However, I think with Sterling Shepard on the sideline, everybody else expected that, so they guarded him a little bit more than usual. However, I expect Evan Ingram to be just fine against Tampa Bay with a new quarterback. Vance McDonald, he had himself a really decent day. He went from 0 to hero with a 2-touchdown day last week. Interesting enough, he had less than 50 yards, and both of those touchdowns were actually with his new quarterback, Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
This could boost his worth. I just don't know how many yards he's going to get with it. It could hurt a little bit if you can't get the yards to go with the scores, but it seems like he's a favorite in short yardage and even in the red zone. So that could boost the score for Vance McDonald. However, I'm giving the tight end position to Evan Ingram. If Greg Olsen can do it, Evan Ingram's going to do it. So that's just how I'm seeing it. Then we got the flex position. Christian Kirk's going up for Bears and Cream versus Carolina. He's going to cancel out I'm pretty sure he's going to cancel out some of the points that Kyler Murray's going to put up.
Mm-hmm.
But not all of them because Larry Fitz is there.
Fitz is Gerald.
Larry Fitz is Gerald, and then good old Davey maybe catching some targets too.
Davey maybe baby.
Davey maybe baby. 20 targets in 2 games for Christian Kirk. He's only got 10 catches. It could go anybody's way. Whatever Kyler Murray sees fit to come back, it's gonna be that way. However, for your flex, you have your secret weapon. Austin Eckler, he's been phenomenal. He's totaling 25 more yards and has 2 more touchdowns on the year than CMC, who was the clear-cut number one running back after week 1, and he's just completely surpassed him in many ways. I think he's going to be just fine. He's going to hurt your defense in the long run.
I haven't thought about that yet.
Yeah, he's going to hurt your defense. I'm going to tell you this now. I don't know what you want to do. Houston might still be a good play because I don't know how Phillip Rivers is going to be. But I give the flex to Austin Eckler. We're going to cover these guys really quick. We got Joey Slay versus Arizona and Gostowski versus New York Jets. Gostowski last week only got the extra points. It's going to happen again. He's only going to get extra points. They're going to get down. They're going to score. There's not going to be need for field goals. You know who's going to need field goals is Carolina, especially if Cam Newton is not playing. They're going to need field goals. Joey Slay has 28 points on the year so far. He's kicked 3 field goals of 50-plus yards. This guy's going to rack up points. Then going on to the defense, Green Bay has been very surprising this year. And I don't think they're going to get picked apart like the Bears did. They're going to see what Emmanuel Sanders and Joe Flacco did, and they're going to be able to prevent that. Their defense is going to overpower yours. Bold predictions, Vance McDonald. He's going to only go for 28 yards. But he's going to get 2 touchdowns. I think
just red zone, baby.
Red zone. He's going to be
Just
a red
the
zone
red
target.
zone.
Like I said, he looked to be a short yardage man for Rudolph. I think it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
I think Kyler Murray, he's not going to have, the 390-yard day with 115 yards on the ground that Lamar will. But I think Kyler's going to go for 375, get 3 touchdowns.
Ooh.
And I think he is going to scramble for at least 70 yards this week.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's going to be good.
That's
Good
bold.
for you. I do have overall in this game, carry on my wayward son taking the cake.
What was your spread?
I did not have a spread because I forgot about it. But if you appreciate my honesty, I will just go ahead and say the spread's about 4 points.
Ah, that was actually what I was thinking in my head. So
I think it will be a good game. I think you guys have your super strengths or secret weapons here. I think your wide receivers are going to put you on top, though. So
only hope.
there you go. That's what we got here so far. So it looks like this week for our pick'ems, we are differential on 2 games. We're different on 2 games here. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't even remember, dude.
You got it. For those of you who stuck it out, thank you so much for staying with us. We are all so tired.
It's midnight 15 right now is what we're looking at.
Midnight 15. It's been a rough night for Louis, that's for sure.
Yep.
But he saved his family. Saved the neighborhood. No doubt.
Saved us all. Everyone should be bringing us dinner right now. We need lasagna in the house.
There we go. Well, we will feast in a couple of days on Saturday, especially. We're gonna have a really good time. Yeah. Congratulations, Louis.
Thank you. Thank you. We are excited. We are tired. We are week 3.
Yes.
We are fantasy football.
Go sports.
Do we have anything else to talk about?
Honestly, I think we're both at this point. Midnight 16. There's not much left. We've covered a lot here. There's going to be more injuries, and there's going to be more energy next week. I could promise you that.
Yep, I will promise some more energy. This is going to be our longest video.
Yep.
It will not be loaded until Thursday morning. I will edit and I will post it tomorrow morning. It's been a long day. We are we are fantasy football.
Otherwise, guys, thank you so much. Tune in next week. We'll say next week if we get back to our regular programming. We will have the game of the week last again. We just didn't want to keep poor Matt up, so we'll get back to everything that was awesome about week 2 in week 4. Maybe it'll just be the even weeks that'll be awesome.
Oh man,
we're good, guys. And you know what? Let's have some fun. Best of luck, everybody.
much love.
Much love. Go Sports.